Pinocchio runs down to the rocky shore, his heart pounding inside his pine chest, believing the wicked lie of his wild schoolmates who called him to the coast. The giant shark has arrived, they shouted, come see the monster of the deep. He hopes to find a clue of his poor papa, but the blue horizon is completely bare. You fooled me! There is no shark here! Why did you make me skip my classes? The lazy boys break into a cruel laugh, surrounding the puppet on the sand. We wanted to look at the teacher's pet. They snicker, pointing their dirty hands. You study too much, you wooden block. You think you are better than the rest. They grab his heavy spelling books, ready to drag him down into their lawless nest. A fierce argument explodes on the beach, turning into a wild, chaotic brawl. Pinocchio defends himself with hard wooden elbows, standing tall against them all. The wicked children throw their heavy books, flying through the salty morning air. But the timber body is too tough to break, bouncing the weapons back onto the shore. A lazy boy named Eugene grabs a massive volume, throwing it with blind rage. But it misses the puppet completely, flying straight toward his own companion's head. The heavy book strikes the boy on the temple, and he collapses onto the damp sand, motionless, pale as wax, bleeding quietly beside the cold, crashing waves. The trap of the lawless field, the burden of a false disgrace, where the innocent boy is left alone with the blood of a friend upon his face. The cowards run away into the hills, fleeing from the shadow of their crime, leaving a terrified toy to weep, caught in a dark snare of frozen time. Wake up, Eugene! Please open your eyes! I did not throw the book! Two heavy soldiers arrive at the coast, finding Pinocchio kneeling in the dirt. They refuse to listen to his desperate words, staring at the motionless boy. They seize the puppet by his wooden arms, locking his wrists in heavy chains. You are the criminal! The guards shout out, dragging him away to the town jail. The puppet is led away in deep shame beneath the gray and weeping sky. I am innocent, Papa, help me. Wild, snatching the paper hat right off his wooden head. Pinocchio asks the soldiers for permission to retrieve his fallen cap. The moment they loosen the grip, the puppet leaps forward into a mad sprint, flying across the fields like a deer escaping the heavy hands of the guards. Catch him! Catch the thief! Do not let the puppet escape. release their secret weapon, Alidoro, the massive mastiff hound. A terrifying beast that runs like thunder, its jaws snapping at the wooden heels. Pinocchio runs toward the ocean, knowing the shore is his only chance to live. Leaping from a high cliff into the waves, floating safely like a piece of cork. But the heavy hound follows him blindly, crashing into the waves with a massive splash. Alidoro cannot swim, his massive paws thrashing helplessly in the boiling current. Save me, Pinocchio! The drowning dog howls, gasping for air beneath the tide. Do not leave me to die in this deep water, and I promise I will not harm you! The puppet hears the cry of his pursuer, his wooden heart melting with pure mercy. He swims back toward the drowning beast, shouting into the stormy wind, "Take hold of my tail, Alidoro!" Pinocchio cries, pulling with all his might, dragging the giant mastiff through the rough waves, heading straight toward the shore. Hold tight, I will pull you to the safety of the dry sand. The choice of a merciful heart, to save you swimming in the stormy deep, rescuing the very hunter who chased him from the jaws of a watery grave. A bond forged in the boiling current, turning the enemy into a friend. The puppet leaves the beach in a rush, running to find a place to save. Thank you, brave puppet. I will remember your kindness forever. The grateful dog slinks away into the hills, and Pinocchio is left alone. His clothes are soaked and his limbs are freezing, seeking a shelter from the wind. He spots a large dark cave in the side of a rocky cliff, creeping inside to hide, unaware that a strange smell of frying oil fills the warm, damp air of the den. The choice of a merciful heart, to save you swimming in the stormy deep, rescuing the very hunter who chased him from the jaws of a watery grave. A bond forged in the boiling currents, turning the enemy into a friend. The puppet leaves the beach in a rush, running to find a place to save. It is too cold, I must find a fire to dry my wooden frame. The puppet steps deep into the cavern as a new trap prepares to snap shut. What is that smell? What is that smell? Pinocchio swims away from the coast, trying to escape the town guards. But a massive net drops from the sky, trapping him tight like a fish. A giant hand lifts him high into the air, pulling him out of the water, leaving him tangled among hundreds of flopping, gasping sea creatures. Oh no, I am trapped! Let me out of this web! Standing before him is the Green Fisherman, a monstrous giant with green skin, with a beard like seaweed and eyes like two green lanterns staring in hunger. He examines the puppet with curiosity, poking his hard pine ribs with a greasy finger, believing he has caught a rare, delicious marionette fish for his dinner. The trap of the green cave, the sizzling pan of death, a helpless wooden boy wrapped in white flour for the fry. Forgetting the promise to the fairy, forgetting the father's tears, a foolish toy about to burn beneath the dark cavern sky. What a magnificent creature! A marionette fish for my dinner.
I am not a fish, I am a wooden puppet. Pinocchio screams with terror, but the giant only laughs out loud, ignoring the desperate pleading words. He drops the puppet into a large tub alongside the mackerel and whitings, grabbing a big sack of white flour to coat the wooden boy from head to toe.
The giant rolls the puppet in flour, covering his face completely white, lifting him by the legs, ready to toss him into the bubbling white grease. Pinocchio closes his painted eyes, crying out for his beautiful blue fairy, as the final second ticks away, bringing him to the very edge of the pan. The trap of the green cave, the sizzling pan of death, a helpless wooden boy wrapped in white flour for the fry. Forgetting the promise to the fairy, forgetting the father's tears, a foolish toy about to burn beneath the dark cavern sky. To tell you the truth, sir, I prefer to be set free. The heat of the boiling pan hits his face, scorching his delicate nose. He regrets every single lie he told, every school day he skipped for play. The fisherman swings his arm back, about to drop him into the fire, when a sudden thunderous sound echoes at the mouth of the dark cave. A giant shadow leaps through the entrance, growling with a fierce rage. It is Alidoro, the massive mastiff hound, whom Pinocchio saved from the waves. The grateful dog bites the giant's leg, forcing him to drop the wooden prize, snatching the flour-coated puppet in his jaws, sprinting out into the sun. The puppet is saved by the beast. He showed mercy to in the ocean deep. Saved by Alidoro.
Saved by Alidoro.
Midnight is past and the cold rain pours down from the sky. Outside the fairy's house, the wooden boy is about to cry. I am coming down, the snail calls from the 4th floor window high. But hours pass by, and the puppet can only freeze inside. She is too slow. I am freezing to death out here. 9 long hours of waiting in the freezing mud and gale. Pinocchio loses his mind at the super lazy snail. He gets so angry, kicks the big front door with all his might. But the heavy wood snaps shut and traps his foot real tight. He kicked the house that feeds him only to jam his own foot tight. The foolish puppet lost his temper and trapped himself in the night, blaming the snail for being too slow, but he caused his own stupid pain. Now he is stuck on the porch all night, crying the freezing rain. Help, my foot is stuck! Snail, hurry up and open the door. The morning sun finally comes up as the lock turns with a click. The snail arrives at last, not caring about the puppet's trick. She sees the wooden boy pinned to the door, crying in despair, and she lets out a slow, slimy laugh into the chilly morning air. Oh dear, did the big bad door bite your little wooden toe? I've been out here all night, I am so hungry, the puppet pleads. The snail nods slowly, saying she has exactly what he needs. The fairy sends a giant feast for her brother who loves to roam. She brings out a beautiful silver tray from the kitchen of the home. Pinocchio bites the chicken, but it's just painted cardboard and glue. He grabs the fresh white bread, but it's nothing but heavy yellow clay too. The beautiful red apricots are made of cold, hard painted glass, a real mental punishment for the boy who let his good lessons pass. No! It's all fake. I am so sorry, fairy, I will never skip school again. The trap puppet weeps on the porch, chewing on his cardboard prize, as the snail slowly turns around under the fairy's watchful eyes. I was so stupid. I learned my lesson the hard way. Starving and disappointed by the painted cardboard and clay, the exhausted wooden boy feels his senses slip away. He falls into a deep faint upon the cold kitchen floor, waking up on a velvet sofa, safe inside the fairy's door. Forgive me, fairy, I cannot open my eyes. The blue fairy wipes his tears and smiles with pure grace. One last chance, my little brother, I wipe away your disgrace. Pinocchio studies night and day, rising straight to the top of his class. Tomorrow, she promises, the wooden spell will finally pass. 400 sandwiches ready, coffee steaming in the pot. Tomorrow he becomes a real boy, leaving the puppet's lot. No more strings and no more wood, A beautiful feast of celebration waiting in the morning light.
Hurrah! Tomorrow I will have real skin and bones!
Pinocchio runs through the town to invite every schoolyard friend to share the grand party where his puppet days will end. But by the secret alleyway he spots a shadow leaning on the wall. It's Lampwick, the laziest boy, the biggest troublemaker of them all.
Where are you going? Pinocchio asks, but Lampwick only sneers.
I am leaving this prison tonight, shedding all my fears.
No more boring books, no more schools, no more teachers to annoy.
I am moving to a paradise made for every single guy.
Come on, Pinocchio! Throw those stupid books away!
The land of toys is waiting, where we do nothing but play. From Sunday morning to Saturday night, we just waste the day away. No rules, no lessons, just endless fun from morning until night. He leans close to the puppet, whispering of this sweet delight.
Just come with me, my friend.
Imagine a world with only games. Lampwick smiles in the shadow, waiting for the puppet's reply. As the evening sky turns dark and the afternoon fades by.
But my party tomorrow. The fairy.
Pinocchio waits in the pitch-black alley, hiding beneath the heavy shadows.
Waiting for his lazy friend Candlewick to arrive with the secret midnight carriage.
He remembers his sacred vow to the blue fairy, his heart torn in two directions.
But the sweet illusion of a world without school is too powerful to resist. Is the carriage truly coming? Candlewick? Are we really going? The midnight carriage arrives silently, drawn by 12 pairs of sorrowful donkeys. Every donkey wears white leather boots, looking completely human and strange. The driver is a fat little man with a face made of pure grease and sugar, smiling with a terrifying twisted sweetness as he welcomes the runaway boys. The midnight ride to damnation, the country of endless play, trading the crown of a real boy for a holiday of hollow joy. The donkeys weep silently in the dark, throwing their heavy tears to the ground. But the foolish children jump inside, letting the wicked wheels destroy. Up in my fine young gentlemen, there are no books in my land.
Pinocchio climbs upon the back of a donkey to make room for his friend inside. The poor beast leans close to his wooden ear, whispering a weeping, heavy groan.
Oh, you foolish puppet!
The donkey mutters with a broken, sorrowful voice.
You will weep bitter tears tomorrow for throwing your beautiful life away.
The wicked driver jumps down instantly. By biting the poor donkey's ear clean off, silencing the warning with bloody cruelty before jumping back into his seat.
Pinocchio ignores the blood on the dirt,
Laughing along with the lazy candlewick as the carriage speeds through the dark night, leaving the fairy's house behind.
the midnight ride to damnation, the country of endless play. The donkeys weep silently in the dark, throwing their heavy tears to the ground. But the foolish children jump inside, letting the wicked wheels destroy. Hurrah! No more school! No more masters! We are free! They arrive at the gates of the land of toys as the morning sun breaks through.
The town square is packed with thousands of boys,
Screaming, playing,
and running wild.
no schools, no books, no teachers, a permanent holiday that never reaches an end.
And the puppet jumps into the chaotic crowd,
Completely blind to his dark fate. 5 months pass away in a blink of an eye, spent in endless amusement and play.
Pinocchio lives like a king in the dirt,
Forgetting his home and his father's tears,
until one fateful morning he wakes up early,
reaching up to scratch his temples,
feeling a strange, terrifying change.
growing rapidly beneath his painted hair. The curse of the lazy children begins to take its heavy toll. My ears. What is this? Pinocchio dives into the wild town square of the lawless land of toys, where every day is a grand holiday and no hard books are ever allowed. From early morning until the deep night, he runs with the cheering crowd, playing with hoops, riding wooden horses, screaming his lungs out proud. This is paradise! No more school! No more nagging sisters! He spends his hours playing blind man's buff with the lazy candlewick, leaping over fences, rolling in the dirt, consumed by the sweet instant trick. The days fly past like lightning bolts, and the weeks quickly blur into one, losing all memory of his home, chasing the endless artificial sun. The paradise of fools, the permanent holiday of the blind, leaving the crown of a true boy completely and reckless behind. No labor, no duties, no heavy tears to wash away the stains. A kingdom of loud games, hiding the slow growth of the chains. Look at us! We can play forever! We are the kings of the field! 5 months disappear in a single blink of a stupid, carefree eye. The puppet has turned into a champion of idleness, shouting his lazy battle cry. He sleeps on heaps of crushed candy, waking up only to gamble and run wild, forgetting the sorrow of the father, completely destroying the innocent child. The fat sugar sugary driver watches from the corners, counting his future gold, smiling with a terrible silent malice as the months take a solid hold. The puppet feels no hidden guilt, laughing along with his lawless crew, unaware that the poison of naivety is brewing a bitter nightmare brew. Play more! Don't let the night slow down the fun! The paradise of fools, the permanent holiday of the blind, leaving the crown of a true boy completely and reckless behind. No labor, no duties, no heavy tears to wash away the stains. A kingdom of loud games, hide in the slow growth of the chains. Tomorrow we will play again, the holiday never ends. The 5 months reach their final night, and the great clamor starts to fade. Pinocchio returns to his dark room, exhausted by the games he played. He lies down on his straw bed, closing his painted wooden eyes in the dark, as the clock on the tower tolls the midnight hour, leaving a cold, eerie mark. A sudden internal itch begins to burn, creeping behind his ears and head. He reaches up his wooden hands in the quiet dark, tossing upon his bed. The price of the permanent holiday is knocking loudly upon the timber frame, and the morning light is preparing to reveal the final trap of the game. The 5 months of play dissolve into a suffocating, silent room. Something is growing.
Something is growing.